Throw it up. Throw it up.
Woo! Hey, this guy's got a silly phone. Hey, silly phone. Oh
Where we're getting
shit!
all our
No,
information
man.
from. Shit.
I know, right? Well,
Tuesday, man.
most of it, anyways. All right. Back up here. It's Tuesday.
Welcome
Welcome
to the.
to Auto.
You got to welcome
You,
to
you,
the
you,
damn
you,
show here.
you crackhead. Okay, you say it then.
Okay. All right. It's Tuesday. Well, hey everybody, welcome to Out of Rhythm. You got the host with the most, Mr. Jamie over there, and Big Sexy over here, Mr. Eli. Although
Yes.
although uh, I'm recuperating from a throat tattoo that I got done on Saturday, which that's an interesting experience, man. If you ever
So you're saying you got throat fucked?
I got throat fucked. Yeah. Yeah,
Oh,
you know what I do when I'm throat fucked, other than the obvious. I take a shot of the El Patron.
oh,
Yes.
hey fucker, where's my Patron at? You jackass!
Maybe I'll bring you some up, big boy.
You better.
If you're kind to us tonight with your thoughts and feelings, because you're a
My
little
thoughts and feel.
angry earlier. Goddamn. Let me take this shot here. Salute. Mm.
Salute.
Ah, God, that's good. Mm.
Yeah. Well, okay. I was having some audio issues on my PC. So I'm like, I had to scramble to get on my fucking laptop, and I'm just like, oh my god, I couldn't find nothing. I couldn't find my little USB plug-in, so I can plug in my microphone, camera, my soundboard, and all that. Well, I know the audio output or whatever fuck the way you want to call it. So I was like, so I just couldn't find anything, and I was here. I'm lucky you probably couldn't hear me because I was cussing up a storm. I was just furious, about ready to just start
No,
trashing shit.
I was looking at my phone. I was trying to, if we had any time for college updates for college sports, I was going to be like, oh, well, Stroud had this, Penix Jr. had. So I wasn't, yeah, luckily I didn't hear you.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. I mean, it was one of those days that, I was having pretty good, and when had everything pulled up, and I'm like, okay, no sound. I'm like, what the hell? I'm like, well, because I mentioned to you earlier, I had all my sound and shit on my PC was actually acting up, so I swiped everything off, and then all the sound was working fine, and I was just like, what the hell, man? So I don't know. I didn't. So I'm like, screw this. I'll get in the laptop, and I'll be fine. And because I know all my shit on my laptop is working just fine. So I'm like, I know I had no audio issues there. So Jared
there's
is actually,
Oh, is Jared here? Jared,
yeah,
there he is.
Jared's here, man. Sorry,
Who's on?
Jared. If this is
Yeah, Jared's won 2 in a row. He's,
oh shit, has he won two
you
in
know
a
when
row?
you go to when you go to Great Clips to get a haircut, that you say
Great clips.
come in and get confident. Well, Jared got confident with those two, and he's talking smack about the piss team now.
Hey, then no, that's awesome though. That's good. Hey, I actually won in his league because finally I had a fucking decent two quarterbacks playing. So I finally had who is it? I think I had PJ Walker, and I had Tua who was fucking he was just
Whoa,
tremendous. So that was
whoa.
fuck. So that was awesome as hell. I was happy as fuck. I mean, I was happy with that shit, man. I was totally happy. I
You
was
needed it, man. Some of the
yeah.
couple of these leagues you were struggling in this week. Me too, man.
I had a few.
I'm going 5-16, man.
I mean, I was happy. I mean, I had a pretty good weekend this weekend. Yeah, I won in a few leagues and I lost in the freaking our 10-man or not 10-man or 12-man.
Okay,
So
yeah.
I lost in that league because I went with Zach Wilson. I should have just went up with Heineke, and I probably would have won my matchup. But I think I lost by like 5-6 points or something like that. So
I call it a mercy victory or a sympathy victory. You felt bad for Wes because he was 0-6, and you were like, I can spare an L here. Wes, I'm gonna let you one time this year. Wes, you're gonna eat the dub. You're gonna eat the dub.
right? Yes, for sure.
Oh man.
Yeah, that's kind of a shitty thing. So Jared, I think I beat you in our 10-man, our 2 QB league. I smoked him like 186 to what 110 or
You
100.
beat him. I think it was 108. I think you sent me a
Yeah,
picture. Yeah, you whooped that
yeah.
ass.
Well, I was actually kind of happy to finally get I needed that because I'm eighth, and I'm like, there's no way I'm. This is like the first time I have had some losing record. Well, I wouldn't say about losing records.
Yeah, this late in the
Some
season.
poor, yeah,
Yeah,
some poor
usually you're not.
records.
Yeah, usually you're not below 500 this late in the year. It's kind of
Yeah, so I'm like,
uncharted waters for you.
yeah, so I'm pretty much in the terms of I gotta hurry up and kind of get some of that shit together. Maybe try to make some trades or something along those lines. But I'm gonna try to keep picking away at what I can do, anyways. But yeah, I mean, I'm in
Of
some leagues.
course, Jared doesn't want to talk about 10 man. He doesn't. He don't want to talk about that beatdown. You don't want none of that.
But
But yeah,
yeah,
no,
yeah,
we
yeah.
are, Jay. We are like, can't stress this enough. And I'm dealing with some of my teams too. But we're halfway through the fantasy season. The NFL year isn't quite halfway yet. But fantasy wise, we're 7 of 14 weeks in the books. So yeah, if you gotta, if your league's got a trading deadline, you better get your stuff in. I think it's week 8 for most leagues. So get your stuff in this week if you're going to make a deal.
Yeah, for sure.
We're going to go run through the waivers, a little later in the show, and kind of bring up a couple different injury scenarios. So maybe a guy that was off the table a couple weeks ago you weren't even thinking about. Maybe maybe Marquise Goodwin. Hey, I heard DK and is that Delilah?
Yeah.
We'll see if she barks at me.
She can't hear you, anyways.
Okay.
Yeah, she can't hear you. What are you sniffing? What are you sniffing? What are you sniffing? Okay.
Yeah, she knows I'm on
She
camera. That dog hates me.
Yeah, she hates. All he has to do is walk, and she'll just bark. She'll bark. She just won't shut up. But yes, yeah. There was a lot that actually happened this weekend. Well, I mean, I had Brees Hall, who went down, which
That's a
sucks.
shame, man. I hope
It
he.
is.
You know what, dude? I hope he doesn't become the next J.K. Dobbins, or there's another guy I'm thinking of that. Like they're hurt their rookie year, or like early in their second year, and they become that injury-prone guy. Because
Yeah.
remember, I mean, how many years did we deal with Saquon? I mean, Saquon's great,
Yeah.
but there's probably a 2-3 years where you couldn't trust the guy, and Dobbins now is that guy where you can, and he at one time in Ohio State he was supposed to be this top 5 potential running back, and now he's going to be a bust.
Yeah.
So I hope that it's not the case with Brees Hall, because Brees Hall, my 2 favorite rookies. I think yours are probably along the lines of this too. I know you like Algier from Atlanta too, but Kenneth Walker.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah.
Kenneth Walker and Brees Hall were my 2 rookies that I'm like, these guys are going to be pillars of the running backs going forward. These are going to be perennial Pro Bowl backs, and so I don't want to see that happen, and Brees was having a great year, but they did. Hey, and we have it in the headlines below, in case you guys didn't catch that, but yeah, James Robinson from Jacksonville, who's kind of been, I don't know, I don't think he's been hurt. I don't know if he's been in Doug Peterson's, doghouse, or he's just been kind of hung out to dry or what, but he had I have him on one of my teams. You probably have him on a few of yours. Like he had 0 touches. He had like 1 target receiving this week, 0 touches. It's just terrible. The first 3 weeks of the year, the guy looked like he might be a Pro Bowl back. I mean, he might be one of the top 10 backs in the league. First 3 weeks of the year, so he looked like the 2020 James Robinson. So what do you think he can do with the Jets?
Most definitely.
What do you think he can do with the Jets now that Brees is out? Or is it going to be split between him and Michael Carter, maybe? Like,
I think Carter's going to be, he's going to probably be the lead guy, but yeah, he'll be the main back, and then you'll have Robinson come in and kind of be almost kind of what they were doing with Brees Hall and Carter a little bit, So I mean, Carter's going to be the guy who's going to take that lead role again, go take it back or whatever, and then they'll probably fill in Robinson here and there. So I know there's gonna be a lot of scenarios, because a lot of people are going to be out there. Everybody's waivers claims it was going to be on Carter, but now that this traded and Gus Bus is out there, it's one of those things like, all right, what should I do here now? It's one of those like instances like, okay, you have 2 guys, which waiver guy is going to be your best guy to pick up? What I mean?
To go and grab, and we were talking about this a couple days, just texting, and I was like, because I had him on one of my teams. I know he's on your he was at least on one or two of your team. I know.
Yeah,
Brees,
yeah.
But so I have two kind of two scenarios with that. So Brees went down, and you got to trade with who you can trade with. I mean, it's easy to knock people for like, well, that trade was kind of, but I mean, if you have a 12-team, 16-team league, and there's only one guy that wants to do business with you, it's like, okay, I was caught. I had Cordarrelle's on my IR, so I'm kind of waiting for him. So I'm not. And my team's 5-2 now, so it's like I'm not desperate, but I picked up some idiot some idiot was impatient with Dak, and Dak was on the IR, and he was on the IR early in the year. Picked him up. He was my third quarterback, and so I was just kind of waiting. And should I pick up Todd Gurley?
Hey, I suggest you pick
up. Why stop there? Go get Marion Barber too. Bring back
I suggest go pick up Gurley, man, because Gurley was a beast. But I mean, you can't blame him. Frank Gore just being a monster too. Man, if you got the room for it, pick up both of them. Hell,
I think Frank Gore can still play in the USFL if you want my honest. But no, so Brees goes down there. But I traded Dak for Kareem Hunt. I'm betting on the fact that if the Browns are out of it, which I mean, the Bengals and Ravens are head and shoulders above where they're at. So the Browns aren't a playoff team to me. Like if they want to, kind of blow it up, I can see them moving Kareem Hunt to a team that needs it back. And I can see Kareem Hunt going somewhere and possibly, getting more, because Nick Chubb's a top 5 back. I mean, consensus. There's no question about that.
Oh, no,
so maybe Kareem can go somewhere, get some more touches, or in a different scenario, be a number 1 back again, like he was in Kansas City a few years ago. So, I'm kind of hoping on that. And I had Brady and Kyler as my, so Dak was expendable. And then, in a second scenario, and I'll let you jump in. In a second scenario, I asked you about this. I wasn't sure, and I don't know if anybody else is in this boat too, but so I was offered a deal on one of my teams. Basically, the guy was going to give me Antonio Gibson for James Robinson. Now, with this, and before that Jacksonville trade, I would have done that in a heartbeat. But now I want to see what your opinion is, because Gibson and James Robinson are in a very similar situation. Brian Robinson is probably the number 1 back in Washington now, and obviously Michael Carter is probably the number 1 back with the Jets. So of like the kind of maybe 10 to 12 point potential guys, who are you going with? Are you going with James Robinson or Antonio Gibson? Like in that scenario, what are you thinking?
Actually, I'm not dropping or getting rid of Robinson, so I'm actually gonna hold on. I'm gonna actually hold, and I would actually, if you can, I wouldn't trade. I don't like Antonio. Robinson's gonna be the main guy there. I mean, I think Robinson is actually a little bit better than Antonio. That's just my opinion.
You think James Robinson with the Jets is a little bit better than Gibson with Washington, basically?
Yeah, pretty much. I like,
but it is a good question. It is a good question, though. I mean, they're very, very similar. They're in the same ballpark. So
I just think Robinson's a little bit better than Antonio right now.
Yeah, no, that's fair enough. I totally understand where you're coming from. I just, and it depends on your scenario. If you're a 6-1, 5-2 team right now, and you can make a few mistakes. But my situation with the league that I have, I'm 2-5, and it's like if I make one wrong mistake, I'm done. I'm dead in the water.
Yeah. So most definitely.
So if I make a deal, it's got to be the right deal. So yeah, if you're saying stick with Rob, I think that's I might just ride him out. Yeah.
Yeah, I might. That's what I'm probably gonna do. I'm gonna hold on to Robinson for right now and just kind of see what happens. Because if he booms, I mean, and if he outplays Carter, and then you have yourself a number 1 back, So I mean, that's just me.
Then you look stupid if he's putting up 100 yards a game. Like later in the year, you look dumb if he's doing that, and then Gibson's getting 50. So
yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah, that's just my opinion there.
Who else do you see? Who else do you see getting moved? Because there's a lot of different guys on the trading block. There's some stuff these fuckers, they limit us to 1,000 words on the bottom. So there was some stuff Jamie had to cut out. That when we were gonna break the bank this week. We had player updates. We had all this shit. But I heard we're gonna put that down there, Jamie. I heard rumors about Judy being possibly being on the trading block. I heard rumors. And I was surprised the Giants would even throw this out there because they're 6-1 and they're doing well. But Darius Slayton might be on the trading block.
Well, if they can get a better upgrade, I mean, I wouldn't see it. I mean, it would be beneficial to them.
Where would you see Judy? Because I still think Jerry Jeudy can be like not a top end, not a Jamar Chase Jefferson kind of number one, but I think Jeudy could be a maybe a top 20 receiver.
Most definitely. I think he can be.
Where do you see? Obviously, Green Bay. In I put that down there that they're freaking terrible. They have no receiving. Like if Green Bay doesn't try to make a deal for Chase Claypool, like do they go and get a guy like Jeudy? I think they should. He's a deep
or a Brandon Cooks. I mean, Cooks
too. Yeah, Cooks is a solid veteran receiver. You kind of know what you're going to get with Brandon Cooks. He's reliable.
I mean, I love that guy. I mean, shit, I was actually watching him when he was freaking with
Rams.
The Beavers back when he was in college.
Yeah.
I was all over him when he was in college, man. I watched a lot of. Anytime I try to get a chance to watch Oregon State, I usually try to get that opportunity to do that. And I was watching him just light up, getting touchdowns left and right. He was their main guy back then too, so that's why he was actually drafted pretty high too. So
Oregon State was a machine for a while, man. In terms of
they're actually
Ocho Cinco, Jacquizz Rodgers, who was a good player with the Falcons, probably 10 years ago. He came out of that. Probably think TJ Hushman's out. Yeah, it was a machine. Brandon Cooks. Oregon State was a machine for a while in terms of busting out skill position players. So, and they're actually doing well this year too. They're 6-2.
Yeah, they're above actually the Ducks. They're actually above, so they're actually leading. They're leading their division this year, which I'm kind of happy with. So,
yeah, that'd be nice to see them in the Pac-12 title game. I mean, that's
most definitely.
Yeah, be an in-state Oregon against Oregon State. That'd be cool.
Most definitely.
But I see Jared got his 2 cents in there. So I think other guys probably feel the same about Jeudy. It's just Russ is just it's benefit. Okay, there's one guy that's benefited with Russ, and that's we both know Albert O is a bum. So Dolce is it Dulcich or Dolchich, the tight end?
Yeah, Dolchich.
Okay.
Yeah, and we'll kind of talk about him when we get into the waivers.
Yeah,
a little bit. So and we'll kind of leave that.
So he was a beneficiary. Everybody else is just kind of like, I mean, if they want to if Denver wants to get rid of him, go for it. If you want to trade KJ Hamler, if you want to trade Jeudy, go for it. Russ doesn't utilize them.
I was actually honestly trying to figure out, because I picked up Heineken.
Makes me thirsty.
Right?
We'll go well with this Patron here.
Yeah, I picked up Heineke. I actually played him with Russ being out, and there's actually a couple guys that I want to.
He was good. He was good, dude. He was, He wasn't Patrick Mahomes out there, but the guy. I mean, you could have done a lot worse this week. Trust me. Than Taylor.
I'm sure I could. And I was trying to actually think. I'm actually trying to drop Russ Wilson. I'm trying to drop him, and so because Burrow, he's elite. He's out there. So
Burrow's just.
So I was either trying to nab up Garoppolo or Sam. So I was actually trying to think about one of those two guys.
So you're on, and that's one of our highlight our scroll headlines down there too, about Sam Ellinger. Is that who you're referring to, right, with Sam? not
Yep,
Sam
yep.
Darnold. Yeah. So
No,
we're
no.
both on the same wavelength here with Sam Ellinger. I think that's
Yep.
I think the Colts got some skill, but they got some guys there, dude. They got some dudes. I don't think Jonathan Taylor is this bad. I don't think Michael Pittman. Yeah, he's had a couple games where he's popped this year, but come on,
Yeah.
he's not played like a top 15, potentially top 10 fantasy receiver. And I think maybe with a different quarter, somebody that's not throwing ducks, somebody that actually still has an arm. This Ellinger, he was a good quarterback. I remember him at Texas, man. He was a good quarterback.
Yeah. I mean, he had 600 yards rushing. He had freaking I think 60 odd some touchdowns in his career there. I know he had about 11,000 yards passing. His percentage rate was about 62%. So I mean, not like he was a bad QB, So I mean, I kind of looked up because in a Discord there, some people were talking about him, and I looked up some of his stats from college. And there was one year I think he had almost 4,000 or 5,000 yards passing one year, somewhere around those lines.
Yeah, over 4, close to 5,000.
Yeah,
they were. I think they made the move. Some of it has to do with financials. Basically, like Matt Ryan's guaranteed a certain amount after.
They might.
So basically, it's part financial. Yes, I mean they don't want to pay a 37-year-old declining quarterback with a bad arm.
Yeah, and I was listening to a few things too. They might.
He tore it up in preseason. Did you see Ellinger in preseason? He looked.
No, I did. I didn't get a chance to watch any. So I think they're going to try to. What's funny? I was thinking about this last night. Is the Colts the new Browns?
Yeah, the instability. Watch, they'll do something stupid, and I think Chris Ballard's a good GM. I like Frank Reich. I wish he was in Tampa. With our shit show on offense right now, I think Frank Reich's going to get a raw deal. I think they're going to can him after this year, but I think he's a good coach. I mean, he helped. I mean, look what he did with the Eagles in 7. They won the Super Bowl with Carson Wentz, basically with Nick Foles and Carson Wentz. I mean, these are
I think they're and I think right now they're not going to play Nick Foles. I think he'll just be a backup because he's almost the same, but he's in the same boat as freaking Matt Ryan. So I mean, he's pretty well washed up, so it's just like, hey, let's might as well just let's play the rookie and see what happens. Well, not rookie anymore, but second year now.
Second year, it's pretty much a rookie.
Pretty much.
Especially in a deeper league, I know I am. I put it. I don't know if I'm going to get him, but I put in a request. I'm going to drop Zach Wilson. I'm going to kick the tires on Ellinger. As a backup, I'm going to see what the kid can do because he's got pieces to work with.
He does most definitely.
He doesn't need to be fucking Joe Burrow or Justin Herbert. I mean, if he can just be, Jared Goff. I mean, they'll win some games. I mean, the Colts got pieces, dude. They're not. They're not hurting for offensive skill position players. That's for sure.
Most definitely.
We'll see what kind of rapport, which receiver he builds the most rapport with. Like, I think Pierce, because Pierce is a young guy too. They tend to kind of, and then the tight end, Woods. I think those could be the Woods and Pierce could be the two guys that benefit the most from having him in there for Matt Ryan.
Yeah,
I think. Oh man, you look like you're thirsty again. Maybe you need a Heineken.
I don't know about Heineken, but I got this nice infusion Red Bull that's pretty good. It's pomegranate.
Oh shit! They got that at the Scooters.
Yeah,
bro. I'm gonna have to try that.
It's I had my choice. I was like, they were listing off names of tropical or whatever, and I was like, yeah, let's do a pomegranate. And I'm like, that'll work. So I pretty much did
the spot pretty good.
Yeah, not too bad at all. I had a little coffee, had a protein bar, and all that stuff, and I was all kind of amped up and whatnot. And I'm like, I had to actually run quick, make an errand, and I'm like, oh shit! So I ran through there and came back and trying to get some extra stuff ready for the show and whatnot. But let's hit your studs and duds quick, and I got a couple other banners here too. And so it looks like
before we put that up, let me get I'll get to one more point down there while we're kind of in the quarterback benching trade kind of discussion. Tannehill might be out for week 8. Do you think I think it's time because I know the Titans have won some games this year and their record, it's decent. I think it's time. If Willis does good, if he's going to be in for a couple weeks, if Willis does good, I think it's time to move off. Tannehill's always going to be a scrub in my eyes. I don't care what stats he puts up. How many games he wins. He's not the long-term answer. What do you think about Malik? What do you think about Malik Willis? Taking over this week against the Texans.
Oh yeah, 100%. 100%. I'm all for it. I like Willis. He started. I know he. I know he started.
See that space on my wall? That's waiting for a Malik Willis jersey to go.
Yeah.
Right up there.
Yeah. No, I'm all for it because I mean he's he's young, he's mobile. I mean he can if he needs to run, he can run. I mean he's a mobile quarterback, and I mean he's big too. So I mean he's pretty hard to take down, and I like the fact that it
reminds me of Lamar. He reminds me of Lamar, man. Like he's similar body type, similar skill set. So I think I think that Tennessee would benefit from that.
I was going to say yeah. I was actually going to say something quick too.
Yeah, go ahead.
So pretty much season wise, you got Eckler up there with like 175 fantasy points. This is all half PPR. Yeah, half PPR. This is all half. Yeah, this is all half PPR, but with PPR, it'd be just a little bit. I think 10 points more. I think about 185 or somewhere roughly around there. But you got Eckler, Barkley, you got Chubb. You were talking about Chubb earlier. Chubb's actually third for fantasy points, 138 fantasy points. You got Josh Jacobs, McCaffrey.
I couldn't believe that. I couldn't believe Jacobs. I know he had that monster game this past week, but I talk so much shit about the guy. But I guess he's top 5 this year.
Yeah. So guess who's the leading rusher right now?
Like yard wise or
yard wise.
Kenneth Walker.
No.
Dalvin Cook.
Nope.
Nick Chubb.
Yeah.
Is it Chubb?
Yeah, Chubb has 100 or 740 odd rushing yards. He's almost has 1,000 yards rushing already.
The guy's an animal. I mean, Cleveland's pissing it. I mean, they're going to end up 7-10 this year. They're going to piss him away. They're going to get their freaking coach fired. They're going to waste the best years of Nick Chubb because they're incompetent. And they're going to watch. They'll deal Kareem Hunt away, who's he'll thrive somewhere else.
Yeah.
I just see them doing something dumb. That's what the Browns do. I mean, Nick Chubb's a Hall of Fame talent, man. He's been doing this a couple years now. He's an animal, just an animal. Love me some Nick Chubb.
Yep. So yeah, here I'm actually going to show. You get into your studs and duds there quick, or the dud part, and then I'll put up something here in a second too.
Oh, you know what it's time for? When it's studs and duds time, it's time to enter the red light district. You feel me?
Ooh.
Shit's about to get real. I might put my hood up like I'm Little Red Riding Hood.
Jared's calling you something. Dick Trickle.
Dick Trickle. Cold Trickle? No. Oh man. I think you're at a loss of words tonight, Jay.
No, I'm actually not. Was trying to pull up something here.
I'm kind of in awe too, man. I can't get over the Bucs loss. I'm sorry. That was a beatdown. I got to get this in before you pull that up. Tom Brady. I can't believe I'm saying this, man. I can't believe I'm saying it. You need to retire. I love Brady and Kyle Trask isn't exactly getting me hard here, but Brady shot. I mean, if they're gonna do Matt Ryan dirty like that when Matt Ryan's actually played semi decent, if they're gonna do him like that, I mean, you kind of need to pull Brady aside and be like, dude, this is it. This is it.
Yeah,
hang it up. Oh, we got backs. Hell yeah.
Yeah. So I just wanted to. So this is kind of our top. This is kind of what's kind of going on here. This is our season points total so far. As you can see what's going on here. I mean, it's crazy. You got Austin Eckler, you got Barkley, you got Chubb up there. I mean, if you think about it, what really sucks is that Brees Hall was actually he had 115 odd fantasy points before he actually got hurt. And I was looking at he was actually in the top 10, especially with rushing yards, and he had some touchdowns in there too. So I mean, just crazy.
It'll be interesting to see if Robinson and Carter can make up for the production, because I mean, I
Yeah,
don't know if that's if Brees Hall is just that good, or if it's the Jets' offensive line and scheme. Like if
yeah,
they can kind of simulate that. The guy I've been most impressed with is Ramondre Stevenson. We saw a little glimpse of it last year. He had a couple
yeah,
games where he popped, but now he's become. I wouldn't be surprised by the end of the year, Jamie, if he's in the top 5 in fantasy running
yeah,
back points. I wouldn't
yeah,
be surprised. I mean, the guy's an animal,
yeah,
and the Patriots. I mean, they have you got chaos at quarterback right now. I
yeah,
think they should. While he's still got value, and while they're not fully utilizing him, maybe they deal Devontae Parker.
yeah,
Parker could help a contender. He could help like a Baltimore, or who am I thinking of? Maybe the Giants. Maybe just I could see him adding value. But yeah, Stevenson. New England's going to be a running team. Stevenson, animal. You can get your hands on him if you can trade for him. I mean, go for it.
yeah,
Yeah, Derrick Henry's still putting it up after all these years.
yeah.
Aaron Jones has actually got. I mean, Green Bay's got nothing else on offense, but I mean, Aaron
No,
Jones.
they don't really. I mean, which is kind of the shitty part. I mean, they don't really have much going on besides just the run game, and so they're going to lean on him a little bit more. But I thought I'm kind of working on some other stuff. I'm going to do there's like yards, and then I'll do TDs. So I'm just kind of doing some different things here, and I've just been too busy to kind of get some of that stuff updated. I was going to do quarterbacks and tight ends, yada yada yada. So I was going to do a lot of that stuff too, and just figured I'd just pull this one up because it just would be a lot of us were looking at running backs, and I haven't had a chance to look at stuff season wise. So I'm like, well, let me just do this one, and I'm like, holy shit! When I was looking, I was kind of surprised to see Brees Hall actually in the top 10 in a lot of these categories.
Yeah. Speaking of which, like, who saw who saw freaking Kenneth Walker's performance yet? I mean, the guy. I gotta get serious for a minute here, dude. I don't know why I didn't draft him. I don't know why. I mean, I knew he'd be good. I liked him at Michigan State, but I mean, this guy in that whole Seattle team, I'm shocked. Geno Smith is still number 7 in PPR quarterback points. I mean, Geno's been tearing it up. They're 4-3. Kenneth Walker looks like damn near an all-pro running back. I mean, just and I brought this I brought this up at the beginning of the show, but like if DK Metcalf is out for a couple weeks, or if Lockett's in concussion protocol, I've seen a lot. I didn't see a lot when he was with San Francisco, but I've seen a lot the last few weeks from Marquise Goodwin, and I know he's available. So and we're gonna talk about waivers, a little bit, but I just thought I'd get that in there. Like, there's a couple guys, and the tight end. Who the hell's their tight end again? Oh yeah, Will Dissly. I can see Will Dissly benefiting from that.
Yeah.
Marquise Goodwin. So yeah,
Well,
Seattle's just been. I thought I'd get that in there because I don't know if you're gonna have Geno or any of these guys on any of the lists, but yeah, dude, like Seattle's just.
Yep. All right. Let's do pop into your duds. Pull up your. There's a couple things here to kind of get these in real quick. And
you gonna pull it up? Can I get my stuff on?
Yeah. Here you go. Here's your red light district stuff, man.
Yeah. Yeah, studs and duds. Oh, baby, it's
retake. So
can I start with duds?
Yeah, go ahead, man.
Yeah, okay. Absolutely pathetic. Aaron Rodgers. This is what you get, man. This is what you get. This is what you get when you piss people off. I would know. I piss a lot of people off when you alienate your receiver. He could have done more to keep Devontae. I know for a fact. I don't care. Well, we wanted to go back West Coast. I don't care. You pay a guy $30 million, he'll stay where he's at. Okay.
Yeah.
And they have no number 1. They don't even have a number 2. Alan Lazard, get out of here. Sammy Watkins, he's a joke. Get out of here. All right. So that his number one target week 7, Aaron Jones. out of the backfield. That's, I mean, he ain't LaDainian Tomlinson here. I mean, come on. This was a joke. You know, Raj had 65 yards until almost the end of the third quarter. I mean, this guy's the 2-time defending MVP of the league. And you're going to have stat lines like this, 194. See, he puts up some garbage time stats, and he makes it look halfway decent. He looked like shit. 194, 2 TDs. That ain't going to win anybody. That's not even going to get you to the playoffs. Not when you got matchups against guys like Lamar and Josh Allen, guys, Burrow. It ain't going to do it. Running back, John Taylor. I don't know. I don't know if the Matt Ryan factor, like maybe with a different quarterback in there, he'll get more time. He's only carried the ball 10 times. I mean, he's still getting a 5.8 average. I mean, but he only carried the ball 10 times. I don't know if that was a, kind of a pitch count, kind of a, because he's coming off that injury he had a few weeks ago. So I'm not quite sure there, but he doesn't look like the, top 5 MVP candidate like he did last year. I mean, he doesn't look like that guy anymore. And it's only a year difference. But so I think if you took him in the top 3 or number 1 overall, you're kicking and screaming like you're fucking my team, dude. But
so here's a quick crazy stat about that. The Packers failed to convert a single third down for the first time since 1999.
What the fuck? That's setting off. That's setting offensive football back 50 years. Is what that's.
Yeah.
What the? Not a single third down. Yeah. Get the fuck out of here. I was right. I looked dumb the first couple weeks, and I've looked dumb about Russ. I mean, I'll play the shit for that. But I said Green Bay would be 7-10, and now it's the chickens are coming home to roost, baby. They're gonna be 7-10. Enough of these duds, man. Enough of these duds, homie. Let's get the studs up here.
Oh, you don't want to talk about Jonathan Taylor being a.
Oh, I did, and there's another guy too. Keenan Allen. He tricked a lot of people.
Yep. I put him in my lineups. And got the shit bad.
Because you look dumb. Because if you put Keenan Allen in there, when he's healthy, when he's on, he's a top 10. I think he's still a top 10 receiver. You look stupid because if he goes out there and scores 17 points and your replacement scores 6, you look retarded. So, you kind of have to. If he's healthy, you gotta. It's like with Jefferson or Chase or Diggs, any of these guys. If they're healthy, you have. Doesn't matter what their usage rate is, target wise, like you have to play them. So I'll defend anybody that put Keenan Allen in this week. You had to do it. Terza. Oh, go ahead, Jay.
I was gonna say, I should have put Brady in with the duds because this is the first.
He's a dud every week now. He's done.
This is the first time since.
You see that noodle he's got for an arm? You see that?
So this is the first time since 2002 that he's had a losing record in his first 7 games.
It's been 20 years. Yeah, he's like you. He's like the fantasy version of you.
Right?
It's probably been 10 years since you've had a losing record in weeks 8 or 7 or whatever.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, yeah, Brady could have very well been in there. I mean, we could have done 10 duds. I mean, there's a whole list.
Yeah.
Yeah. Studs. And I look stupid because in my 16-man league at one point, McCole Hardman was on my roster. And I ended up – I was probably going to bench him anyway. You don't know what you're going to get from this guy. He had never scored more than one. He had never scored more than 1 touchdown in a game before this game. So nobody saw 3 touchdowns coming. I mean, you got to be God. You got to be Nostradamus to predict that shit.
Yeah, it's very hard to cut, especially with the way the Chiefs are, because they pass the ball around, and most of the time, a lot of these targets will be going to
Juju, Kelsey, the main guys. There'll be with this offense, dude. There'll be weeks where Jerick McKinnon's getting 2-3 touchdowns. You just cannot predict. There's been a couple other guys too that Sky Moore. Like watch 2 weeks from now, Sky Moore will have 2 touchdowns. I mean, you can't. You just don't know who they're going to target. It's all about the matchup. There's only one constant, and that's Travis Kelce. And I'll get this up there. Kelsey could be in the studs every week. Guys averaging 21 points a game in full PPR. Just an animal. I mean, that's 5 points. I mean, let me tell you the difference between, because most of these guys are close. Like, Josh Allen's head and shoulders above every other fantasy quarterback. Just he's like at least 4 or 5 points above everybody else. Kelsey's the same way with tight ends. He's like 4 or 5 points above Mark Andrews. Yeah, shake, rattle, and roll. Kelsey is fucking killing it. But no, just an animal. And the Raiders, I'm actually going to talk nice about Josh Jacobs. Most of the time, I'm like, he's trash. He's overrated, which he is. But 36 points, week 7 fantasy-wise, just tore it up. 143 and 3 touchdowns. I'm not gonna hate on him this week. He came through, but it's a bad team. Jacobs, why don't you do this against the Chargers? Do this against the Chiefs. Do this against the Bills, and maybe he'll impress me. He does. He has these 100-yard, games out of nowhere against these bad Texan, Panther kind of teams. That's what he does. So
most definitely
can't step up with the big boys. So, Josh Jacobs and my boy, he's not on there, and we've mentioned him a couple times so far. Kenneth Walker, he had like 160 something yards rushing. Just a future stud. If he doesn't get hurt, Jamie, by next year he'll be all pro.
Oh yeah,
doesn't get hurt, he'll be on the 2023 all pro running back team. This guy is a beast. Seattle knocked it out of the park with him. And I'm not a Seattle fan, but I'm loving what they're doing out there right now. I mean, it's if they can just stay healthy, I think they can get a wild card. I would have said you were crazy before the season started, like Seattle. I thought they were going to win 3 or 4 games. I'll be honest.
But I was the same way too.
They're going to get a wild card, dude.
I figured they were going to be the dumpster fire of that division, but I guess not.
It might end up being us. We might be the dumpster fire. The bench Brady while Brady has court dates with his soon-to-be ex-wife. Put Kyle Trask in there.
But yeah, that is a.
Am I leaving the red light district now?
Huh? Oh yeah, hold on. This is a green light in the red light. The green light in the red light district. But yeah, yes, that is over. But anyways, I know that's gonna
be a staple of the show. Every time we do studs and duds, dude, that red light's going on.
Yep, sounds great. Sounds good. But
baseball news. So Astro, I love that logo, dude. That's badass. That Astros one you put up.
Yeah, I searched the interwebs for logos.
The interwebs.
Yep.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm at a loss of words here. What do you think's going to happen here? I think the Astros win in 6. I think the Astros. My boy Dusty Baker going to get his first World Series title. And that's my guy, dude. He's gotten some raw deals, a bunch of different places. He's going to get that title. As much as I know you like Bryce Harper, and the Phillies have been a nice story this year. Kind of come out of nowhere to get the World Series. They beat the Padres in 5 in the NLCS, and then obviously the Astros swept the Yankees. But so both these teams dominated throughout the playoffs. I mean, they've both been. So I don't know. What are you thinking? I'm thinking Astros in 6.
I know. I'm all against the Astros. I'm all for Philly. I want to see Bryce Harper actually win a pennant, and I mean that'd be badass. I'm not a Yankees fan. I'm not an Astros fan. I mean, I'm a Blue Jays fan, but that's not. I mean, I like Minnesota too, but I figured Minnesota was going to be a little bit better than they were this year. That didn't happen. So you know what's funny is I actually got I have the MLB game on my little Nintendo Switch or whatever hell it is, and actually I actually played the Phillies as a dynasty in the hunt of it's called the Hunt of October. Yeah, so and I actually got Phillies. I actually played good enough to the Phillies are actually in the World Series. So I was thinking about that the other day, and I'm like, what a coincidence that I got the Phillies to the World Series on my handheld.
Maybe you predicted this shit. Maybe you're the puppet master. Maybe you're the one pulling the strings. Like I saw this shit happening.
Well, I made a few trades for to make it for them to actually be there. But yeah, it was kind of cool, kind of neat. I was thinking about that. But yeah, I think Phillies maybe take this one. So how many is it? 7 games? 7 games?
7 game World Series. You
Ooh.
know what? Let's see what happens. I just think the Astros they've been a better team all year. Like I said, Phillies are a nice story.
Yeah.
But yeah, World Series starts Friday. Hey, maybe we'll watch that.
Yeah.
Or we do our podcast with a special guest. Maybe for the first time ever, we're gonna bring in Anthony, and Anthony's gonna dress up as a Power Ranger. That's what he told
Power Ranger. Well, he better be bringing that.
Rangers.
He better be bringing that Ranger power because I think he had enough of us last night in the messenger.
Yeah, no, there was there. Some people think it was a mutiny. Some people think it was a coup or whatever. No, this needed to happen. Anthony came back to life. He sparred. You know, he's a trooper, and he has my respect. And he kept himself in the league. They voted to keep him. The tribe spoke. They voted to keep him in, and now he's gonna come on the show, and he's gonna talk about his season and maybe some of his other fantasy teams. And we'll do a special Halloween. Are you gonna dress up, Jamie? Maybe a Halloween edition of the league show.
Yeah, I'll be a nudist.
Yeah, I was thinking the same. Like Will Ferrell in Old School.
Oh yeah, yes.
Yeah, dude.
But yeah, I think that kind of wraps up some of that baseball stuff, and I just thought that'd be a nice little touch. You were talking about getting the baseball thing in there. I'm like, hey, let's just kind of. That's what I was kind of working on too. I had a couple of last little edits and stuff like that to kind of get everything up in there. But yeah, let's hit those. Let's hit that.
There's a couple other brief headlines. We'll get into quick. I don't know if you caught the NASCAR race, but Kyle Larson ended up winning at Homestead. So their Final Four is set. We might get into that a little more next week when we've got more time.
Yeah.
Because there's two. There used to be one race for the Final Four. Now there's two.
Did they do that last? Did they do that last year?
I forget. I forgot if they started last year or this year, but I know it's two races now. It's Martinsville and then Phoenix will close out the season.
I don't think they did.
I forget. I don't know.
Yeah,
it might just be a new thing this year, but I think it's a good thing. It might be a good thing because then you get a two race sample size. Then it's not just, hey, this guy got lucky and and the other guys crashed or the other guys ran poorly and this guy finished third and he wins the time. Now you got to be good for two races. So I think that's kind of cool. So we'll get into that. We both like Chase Elliott. I hope Chase takes the title.
Oh yeah. I mean, I don't like some of the other. I mean, was it William Bryson? I mean, he's not bad. Byron, yeah. I mean, he's not a bad. He was kind of a rookie. I mean, at least he's in a good organization with Hendricks and stuff like that. Yeah, and he's actually been kind of racing. He's actually been racing pretty decent. I'm not sure how many. I know he's actually won quite a few races this year, a little bit. He was looking pretty good. I'm not sure how many top fives or top tens he's actually had this year because
quite a few, man. This has definitely been his best. Definitely been his best Cup season, and he took over for Jeff Gordon. So I mean, he had big shoes to fill, and now he's finally doing that. So that's cool. Yeah. So just briefly, it'll end up being Joey Logano, Chase Elliott, Ross Chastain, who's kind of the underdog. He's kind of the lesser known guy, and we'll see what happens there. Yeah, we'll see what happens. We'll talk about that more next week, and kind of maybe do a little more in depth on that. And then quickly too, we got to go to an. Can't even talk. Maybe I need another shot of Patron. I'll just lick the. I'll get a little bit.
There we go.
I like that hole. We got to go to an NHL game this year. It's like if you don't want to do a football game, that's fine. But we got to go to a Wild and maybe the Golden Knights are off to a hot start. They're the number one team in the Western Conference right now. I know you're doing fantasy hockey, so maybe we'll talk players on a different show. But I thought I'd briefly bring that up. Like them and the Bruins are off to a pretty hot start, but we got to go to a Wild Golden Knights game this year. That's got to happen.
Yeah, that'd be kind of dope.
Badass.
Man, I wouldn't mind going seeing a Wilds game.
No, XL, man, that's a great arena. I've been to 2 or 3, and it's just it's a great atmosphere. I think you guys would have fun if you take Molly too. I think we'd all have a good time if we head out there. Maybe sometime in winter, so let you save up a little bit, and
Yeah, for sure.
so we could. I think that'd be cool. And then NBA quick, Trailblazers 4-0, kind of out of nowhere, man. They were a shit show last year. I know Dame Lillard's he's not quite what he was 5 years ago or so in terms of like fantasy wise, but he's looking rejuvenated this year. I know we're doing your fantasy league, so we'll maybe on another night we'll talk more about the Midwest Hoops League. But and then the Lakers.
Yeah.
I don't know if you caught any of the Lakers last week. I know they played a couple TV games against the Warriors, and I forget if it was fans or somebody else. They're awful. 0-3. They said they had a stat. They had a stat, dude. Russell Westbrook is shooting 8% from 3-point. It's only 3 games into the year. I was like, we could fucking shoot 8% from 3-point.
Oh, you know what Jesus Christ, that's insane. And actually, this was crazy. I seen a little post. LeBron and the other guy, they actually who's their forward or
Anthony Davis.
Yes. So those two actually watched Westbrook shoot the ball until they missed, and they all like
they're probably cheesing out. They're like, this guy.
They shook their head in doubt. They're like, what the? I was just like, yes, like, the Lakers suck.
What is this motherfucker doing? Stop shooting.
Yep, I didn't. I passed up LeBron in drafts. I passed up Westbrook in drafts, and I'm like,
no, it's not Westbrook. It's Westbrick.
Yeah, tossing up
terrible,
those bricks,
man.
like it is. But yeah, that was just insane. I'm hoping Melo comes back soon because I got him in a couple leagues, and so I'm hoping he.
Well, just quick. Do you think Melo has anything left in the tank? He's 38 years old.
Not Melo. I'm talking about the other ball.
Oh, LaMelo. I thought you were talking about Carmelo Anthony. I was like, is he still in the league?
No, I don't think so.
You might get you 4 points a game or something.
No, I was actually talking about
LaMelo's isn't he is he a top 5 point guard like for like projected wise for the season, like PPR?
Yeah, his projections. So last year, like he was actually pretty low with him and Cunningham. They were both pretty low people because, and I was looking at drafts this year, like just mock drafts, and they're actually like both those two guys were actually like Melo's been in the league 3 years now, I think.
I think it's the third year.
Yeah. So like he's actually he went in the first round this year, so it's like holy shit, dude. And then Cunningham, he's actually
machine. Cunningham's good too, yeah.
Yeah. He was I think it was Oklahoma State.
Cade Cunningham.
Yeah. Pistons, yeah. And he was actually in the first round too this year. I'm like holy shit, he jumped up in the first round just one season. I'm like, no.
Dude, watch out. There's a couple young teams that are kind of off the radar right now. The Charlotte Hornets and the Detroit Pistons. These are two teams that eventually the Magic will get their shit together. But I mean, the Magic look like the worst team again. So
yeah, because I tried targeting both of those guys.
They look good.
Yeah, I mean, I actually tried targeting both those guys because they're like, I mean, I'm a fan of both of those guys. So I ended up getting Melo in one league and I had Cunningham in a couple leagues. So I mean, I'm least happy with that, anyways.
Do you like the Halberton kid from Indiana, the guard?
I didn't get a chance to really like dig into a lot of the rookies, but I know I think it's Payaco. I think he's I think that's the kid you're talking about, the kid from the Magics.
No, it was the Pacers, but no, I wasn't sure. I wasn't sure like if you kind of some of the rookies or second year guys that you were kind of eyeing, and I know I took him in our league draft, and is there someone from the Magic that you liked a lot?
His name is Payaco. It's an odd, weird name. He was a rookie. He was a rookie this year, and he actually was.
I kind of gave up after they traded Dwight Howard. I'll be honest. It's been 10 years since I paid attention to who's on the Magic roster.
Only time I paid attention to the Mavericks when they had Tracy McGrady. So I'm just
Yeah,
like,
yeah, we're old school fan, Shaq, Penny.
yeah, Penny. I watched Penny. I was Pennywise. They call him Pennywise, but wait, especially little Penny. Now that was
Yeah,
awesome.
yeah, the little
But
doll.
yeah, for sure. But anyways, yeah, we should enough NBA talk.
Yes.
We need to get into some of these waivers. I got some guy. This is the other little edit I kind of worked on a little bit just so that we can kind of Marquise will probably be the main guy that a lot of people, because since Metcalf he might be out, so Marquise he'll be working in there with some of those targets we mentioned him earlier. He'll probably more likely most added guy this for tonight. Um, let's see a couple other guys. You got Paris Campbell, Van Jefferson, Mecole Hardman, and I kind of dabbed in Peoples Jones because I mean he's been getting targets. He's getting
He's available?
yeah. So pretty much
What the
got
hell?
so a lot of these guys. So let me retrack here.
I need to get the hell out of 16-man league, man. There's some guys here that I'm like, I would give my left testicle to
Yeah,
have Peoples Jones on my bench or some guy
yeah,
like that. What the hell is this?
yeah, yeah.
I put
So
in for Paris Campbell. Maybe I'll get him. I don't.
yeah, yeah, because Paris Campbell's he's only 6% rostered. So I mean he's out there in quite a few leagues.
No,
So
he's been a machine the last couple weeks.
yeah, so
Absolutely.
I mean it's not going to hurt to have that guy in your bench for sure. Okay, Marquise Goodwin, he's 2% rostered. He's available in a lot of leagues.
Snag him
Um,
up. Snag him up. I
yeah,
think DK is going to be out a couple games, guys. Snag him
yeah,
up.
yeah. See, we mentioned Paris Campbell, 6%. Van Jefferson, he's 8% rostered, so he's
They
out there in quite a few leagues.
Jay, they activate him off the IR, so it'll
They,
probably take a couple weeks to get up and running. Like
yeah,
they'll probably have him on a pitch count or catch count or something. So it'll probably, if you're looking for like if you're a 5-2, 6-1 team and you can kind of you can kind of spare a couple weeks here and just stash him away on the bench, you might get some value from Jefferson. Week 11, 12 from then
yeah,
from then on. So maybe just stash him if he's there or take him off the IR. Go. You can keep going.
yep. So those were kind of my wide receivers that were kind of out there that I kind of thought that these guys are Miko. They're on bye, so I mean, if you got the space for him, maybe. But if not, I would just leave him on the waiver wire. Maybe pick him up toward the maybe
It's so
toward the
hard.
end.
It's so hard, man, because he can pop. I mean,
Yeah,
he's proving that now. The guy put up almost 29 points last week, but
yeah,
watch it. It'll be another 5 games before he has anything close to that. Because
yeah,
you just don't know with Kansas City. But
yeah. That's for sure. I got some. So we'll go running backs here quick.
tight end, Jay, Mike.
Hold on. We're not at tight end section yet.
I thought you said tight ends.
No, I said running backs. How do you get tight ends out of running backs? So
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Well, I
was looking at some women on my phone before we start, and I was thinking of tight ends. So sorry.
So I mean, I was gonna go.
Sorry.
Yeah. So I mean, actually, I was gonna say QBs, and I was like, oh, hold on, let's go running back. So, so that was my mistake there. So running backs.
Okay.
Without
hug it out?
yeah, we'll hug it out. High five. So running back situation, we got Michael Carter out there. He's actually 67% rostered. So 12 to 16, deeper leagues, he might not be out there, but shallower leagues, it's very possible he might be out there.
Do you think you can get him away from a team? Like, is he? Because most of these guys fall. I mean, there's the occasional ghost team or there's somebody that's incompetent, but like most of these guys know what's going on. Do you have any chance of getting a guy like Michael Carter with a trade now, or are people going to play hardball and be like, well, no, he's their number one back. Fuck you. Do you have any chance?
I'm sure. I mean, like trade wise, I mean, I'm sure you could probably get him away. I mean, you're not going to be getting like a freaking, like a top 10 guy because he's not quite that yet. So I mean, if you can find somebody that's kind of equal it or a little bit better than him, very possible. Because I mean, who doesn't want a lead guy that's got the lead role?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Like, especially in some of these deeper leagues where
Yeah.
it's so thin. If you can get your hands on a guy like Michael Carter with his usage rate that's about to
Yeah.
come up.
Yeah. So I mean that's the other thing too. We're now with James Washington be there. We mentioned this earlier in the show. Where it's possible that it might be 50-50, but I'm sure like it'd take a couple weeks before Robinson kind of gets kind of situated and kind of knows what's kind of going on. So I think just hold on to Robinson, don't drop him. I'm holding him just to see what happens. I'd rather have if Carter goes down, then you got Robson. Will pretty much. They got that Ty. I think it's Ty Chandler. I mean, he's not really not that great.
A guy from a couple years ago that I used to like, Tyler Johnson. I think
Yeah,
he'll
that's
be
yeah.
third back.
Yeah. I thought it was Tyler Chandler. My bad. But yeah. Yeah. So I
think you were thinking of Tyson Chandler from the 2011 World Champion Dallas Mavericks. I think
that
that's
could
where
have
your
been
brain
it.
was
Oh,
at.
there's so many different names out there
There's so much
nowadays.
shit going on up there.
Yeah. But yeah, Robson will probably be their number 2 guy, which is why they drafted him or traded for him because he's talented. So I mean, I think he'll catch up on the offense pretty easily. I would think, anyways. The Foreman, if he's out there, I mean, everybody's gonna be chasing him. I know there was a few discussions. It's either Foreman or Chuba. I think Chubbard had ankle injury this week. So I don't know if he'll play this weekend or if he might sit, he might be out maybe a couple weeks. I'm not sure exactly on his situation there, but I guess a lot of people like Chubbard or, I'm not sure. What do you?
Well, no, I gotta say it, man. This is my thing. Chubba hubba 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 hubba. He's supposed to. If I were to bet money, and it makes me sad because I thought I got a steal picking him up, but I think he's going to be out this week. I think Foreman's going to get fucking 25 carries, man. I think they have no quarterback. They have PJ. Let's get out of here. He's PJ Walker. He's not.
Well, he's starting. He's starting this week, so
I know, but Geno Smith at one time was like projected to be like a top quarter, years ago. I mean, Geno Smith was supposed to be an elite quarterback. He never, so at least he had that. PJ Walker was in the XFL, dude. I'm sorry. I don't see him having this renaissance, especially with that offense. He had one good game against the Bucks. Golf clap. Here you go. DJ Moore actually kind of touched down. Golf clap. But no, Foreman's going to be a beast. And I think he's going to get. And if you have Chubba Hubba Hubba, bench him this week. Don't go. I don't think he's playing. But if you can get your hands on Foreman, I mean, he's going to be the next guy for the next couple of weeks that's going to pop.
I ended up getting Foreman once I heard the trade happened. I was all like, I try to get him almost everywhere, anywhere I could get my hands on him, and I'm like, yeah, but I didn't want to drop. I mean, I got him in a couple leagues. He helped me kind of actually win too, so that helped me out quite a bit. But yeah, I was kind of like, some leagues I didn't pick him up. I'm like, I think I had players that were a little bit better than Foreman, so I'm like, yeah, it wasn't worth it. But in some other leagues, I sure did, especially in like a 20-man. He was out there. I hurried up and picked him up right away. So yeah. So I was like, right now, pretty much Gus Bus is out there. I got Michael Carter, but I screenshot this earlier and I was trying to get some opinions, and I was just like, I don't know what I should do because Gus Bus is out there.
Jay, quick.
Carter and Hubbard is out there on these waiver wires.
Yeah, well, obviously go, if Michael Carter's there, fucking grab him now. You're an idiot if you don't. But quickly, okay, so Justice Hill, I don't think he's going to be a factor. But if you had to put money on it going forward, because I think Dobbins is going to be shut down for the year. I don't think he's kind of irrelevant at this point. I mean, he's fucked a lot of fantasy owners the last 2 years. Do you go with Kenyon Drake? I know he had a down game, and people want to overreact. I mean, it's a down game. Shit happens. Is it going to be Gus? Is it going to be Gus the Bus, or is it going to be Kenyon Drake? Like, who's going to be the number one back moving forward? Do you think?
I think it'd be Gus. I mean, if they worked him, if they worked him this hard already, you know, it's probably because, and if you think about it too, I mean, he hasn't had any hits or anything like that. You know, he's
He's
been on the
fresh, yeah,
shelf.
yeah.
You know, so I mean, why not go with the fresher guy? You know, Drake, he's just gonna be one of those guys that were just pretty much a filler. You know, he's just pretty much a filler. That's all he was. That, I
Uh,
mean, that's just my opinion. If somebody was hurt, you know,
this
that's
is
just
this is like the fucking stock. I mean, this is like the stock market. I mean, these guys. I mean, literally, if you would have told somebody, even week 3 of this year, that Kenyon Drake, who's been cut by like 6 teams, would week 6 would be like the number 1 fantasy back for that week, and then Gus, who hasn't played in 2 years, basically, we haven't seen a lot of Gus the last few years, that he would be, where he's at now, where he's probably the Ravens' number 1 back. I mean, people just look at you, but I mean, things change so quickly in the league now. It's like,
they
that's why
do.
you've been so successful. I mean, Jamie's up on. I mean, I guarantee you were the first one on Foreman. I guarantee, but even before McCaffrey was traded, you were the first guy to pick him up.
Oh yeah, yep, I was. I mean, I was because I mean, I looked. I'm like, hey, both these guys were available in a lot of these leagues. I mean, if you think about it, they were only like 3% rostered. So it's just like, all right. When I heard that news, I'm like, oh shit, all right. These 2 of these guys, one of these 2 guys are going to be main guys. You know, they're going to be one of the main guys. This guy knows. I knew it was going to be a kind of a 50-50 shared. So it's like, which guy do you pick up? Which guy do you take a risk on? It's just like, so I ended up taking a risk on Foreman, paid off. Hubbard had a actually pretty game too. So I'm sure he helped out some people too at that same time. So now it's kind of like, okay, which direction, maybe because Hubbard's now kind of hurt. So now Foreman, you're better off getting Foreman in your lineups. That's just my opinion. The other thing is Latavius Murray's out there. It's
That's
if
kind
you
of
need
that's kind of can't even say it right now. I can't even speak. That's kind of a revolving door right now with
yeah.
Denver
Well, I
running
mean, Boone's out there. I mean, Boone's on IR, so he got hurt. I didn't know. I'm like, what? So I looked at one of my teams,
actually,
and
yeah, I didn't know that either.
so it's like, why not pick up Murray? He's getting the target. He's gonna be getting the carries, and I'm sure they don't like Gordon much anymore. So who knows if Gordon might be traded.
You might be shipped out.
So it's kind of like, what do you do now? I mean, so Latavius Murray, I think he's the guy. If he's out there, but if you need somebody, why not? He's going to get touches, carries. I mean, he got a touchdown.
Well, shit, they Denver blew up their fucking future by trading all these picks and paying Russ $49 million a year. So why stop there? Why not go get Kareem Hunt?
Right?
They could probably put together a deal to go get Kareem Hunt. Might as well. Shit.
Yeah. They might as well. I mean, why not? But the other guy,
a good landing spot. Dude, if you I know you're not big on Kareem Hunt right now, but if he was in Denver, like with the train wreck they have, I mean, Latavius Murray is a few years past his prime. Let's just be honest.
Yeah.
If he's getting carries, he's getting carries. I mean, that could still be 50 yards and a touchdown, with which is points. But I think a perfect landing spot if they're willing to do the deal, Cleveland. If Denver could get Kareem Hunt.
I mean, I guess I don't see. I mean, Denver would be a good spot because I mean he can get all the targets, carries and whatnot. I mean he's a nice swing pass or the run catch kind of guy. So I mean I could probably see it. I mean I wouldn't have a blame on that because Murray's only 39% rostered. So I mean he's out there in a lot of leagues too. Go ahead. I
just wasn't sure what so we've done. My ADD's kicking in. So we've done running backs. Have we done quarterbacks or wide receivers?
We did wide receivers. So pretty much we have QBs.
Can I get a point in on receivers quick, and I'll let you finish with the backs. I forgot to mention this when we were talking about them, but I think DeAndre Carter from the Chargers. Mike Williams is supposed to be out a couple weeks. I know they have a bye this week, but Keenan Allen didn't do shit. I don't know when he's going to be up and back to being Keenan Allen again. Josh Palmer, I think, is in concussion protocol or something along those lines. So the number 4 guy, DeAndre Carter, he might end up as the number 2 guy pretty soon. So for week 9, this is for a week down the line. I wouldn't do anything with him this week. He's got to bye. But week 9, DeAndre Carter or Palmer. I've seen Palmer available in 12-man leagues if he comes back. One of those 2 guys.
Carter. Yeah, Carter probably your best bet. Palmer probably not so much. Carter. So I mean, if you're able to maybe pick up Carter, if you're able to swing it, pick him up. if not, I'll just wait until after the bye. The other guy I was actually going to say was that Kyrie Williams or Kyron Williams from the Rams.
From the Rams,
Yep,
rookie.
he's on IR. But I picked him up in the league. I stashed him on IR. With Cam Akers probably not going to be there.
He's a bomb, dude. Cam Akers is a bust.
So pretty much, it doesn't hurt to get Williams on your IR if you're able to, and see what happens. Josh dropped what's it, Henderson. I snagged up Henderson, so I got Henderson on my bench. So I mean, with that loss, it kind of hurt me because I'm like, so it kind of hurt me a little bit. I wasn't too happy.
It was like I said, it was a charity. It was a charity loss. You did it because you care. That's
yeah. So let's do this real quick. So out of the running backs, Foreman, Carter, Murray, Williams, and Gus, who would you prioritize more?
Michael Carter, because he had almost 1,000 yards last year, and I would say Gus Edwards.
Okay, third.
Kyron Williams. I don't think there's anybody beyond that I would really screw with, because I could see Williams like week. I mean, this is later in the year, and this is more specifically for the like I said, the 5-2, 6-1 guys that are up there and can kind of buy. There's no pressing need for running back right now. I think week 12, week 13, heading towards the fantasy playoffs, a guy like Kyron Williams could have benefits. And the same thing with Van Jefferson, too. He's coming back from injury. So a lot of these Rams guys that are going to be healthier later in the year, fresh legs. Kyron Williams, not now, but maybe 5-6 games from now, that guy could have a lot of value. So but for right now, Edwards and Carter, don't screw with the other guys. Basically.
So don't worry about Foreman or Latavius Murray.
Oh, I didn't know you mentioned sorry, Latavius Murray.
No, I was trying to just have you kind of rank them.
I'm sorry.
Yeah. So
I'd still put Michael Carter number 1. I would still put Gus Edwards 2. I would ahead of Kyron though. I would put Foreman, because I think Foreman's going to be a good 2-3 week guy, and then he'll probably like everybody else, he'll end up getting hurt or Chubba Hubba will take over. So for this little gap. Yeah, run Foreman into the ground, basically. And then, I wouldn't touch Latavius Murray. I'm not a fan. He's been on like 12 teams now. It's like,
yeah, for sure. Quarterbacks, I got Jimmy, Davis, PJ Walker, Sam, and I kind of pinched in Watson a little bit, but he's still out there a little bit. If Jimmy's out there in some leagues, snag him up. I think he's a little bit better. I think he's a lot better than Wilson.
Great. Jimmy is the best guy you could get right now. That's a backup and like a 1 or 2 week fill-in guy. He's as good as you can get. We'll see what Ellinger can do. Like I said, I've heard good stuff. I liked what he did in college, and the Colts got weapons. Obviously, they're high on. It's part of it's money, but they're high on this kid. I don't have any doubt that Frank Reich believes in him. And they're not just putting him out there to put him out there. I mean, they're benching a former MVP of the league. So obviously they believe in him. So I would put Jimmy 1, Ellinger 2.
I got Davis Mills, PJ Walker.
Davis, I wouldn't touch PJ Walker. It just doesn't do it for me, man. I think he's an XFL backup guy. It is what it is. Davis Mills. He's another good, especially in a deeper league, great backup, great 1 week, 2 week guy. Wouldn't start him, unless I have a bye, I have a Kyler Murray bye, or I have a Josh Allen bye, but So Jimmy, and then the other, and then there's a big gap between Ellinger and Davis Mills. I wouldn't touch PJ Walker. Hell no.
Yeah.
Or Bailey Zappi for that matter, because I think he's going to be. I think he's taking over the job for Mac Jones. I think they benched him last night. I think they benched
Yep.
Mac.
Yep. I didn't really watch that game last night at all. So I mean, I kind of here and
You didn't
there.
miss anything. You didn't miss
Yeah.
anything.
You know what's funny? I ended up said I'm not watching the game. I ended up just watching Raw. So I'm like, whatever. And next thing you know,
You see Rhea Ripley slam the big guy, the good brother.
yeah, the OC.
Gallows, yeah,
Yep.
picked his
I was.
ass up, jumped
I'm
him.
like, that
I
was
know.
kind of insane. I
She
couldn't
was
believe
talking
that crap.
back to him too, and
Yeah. But yeah, it was. So I didn't really see any of that game, but I think Zappy will probably end up being their guy, which I don't
yep.
mind. But Fields was playing like nuts out, man. He was in the top 10 this week. Can't believe
Yeah,
that. I'm like,
if
I
he,
was just shocked.
dude, if he can play like that, I mean, going into next year, he'll be a steal because
Well, he should have been. If
he should have been doing it now. I get it, but
yeah,
like
yeah,
next year, if they fix him in next year, he's a lower pick. I mean, you might get an absolute steal, and then your prediction of him being great a couple years ago might come true. I mean, he might be a Pro Bowl level guy next year. He
yeah,
plays like he played lights out, and it wasn't like anything pretty. It's just he's athletic. He can move.
yeah.
Some of the throw. He's got a big arm. He's a big athletic kid. I mean, he's got potential. I mean, Josh Allen. I mean, if you would have looked at Josh Allen in 2019 after his second year, you wouldn't have thought that, three years from now, this guy will be the best thing since sliced bread. So I mean, Justin Fields he's got that level of potential, for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
but if you could trade for, would you trade for Justin, like as a, to get a serviceable backup, potentially deeper league starter? Would you try to make it? I know he's been on your roster here and there on a bunch of different teams.
Yeah.
Would you make a deal for Fields? Maybe like if you see another good game or.
Yeah, maybe if he continues this, I mean, I wouldn't. I would if he's going to continue this the way his streak's been. Yeah, I would. I've liked Fields, and it's just like there's, I was the funny part is, when I edited one of my rosters, I'm like, fuck, I have to play Fields this week, and I'm like, I was kind of terrified a little bit because I'm like,
kind of cringe, and then you see what he.
Yeah, I did. I kind of it kind of happened. I was like, like this. I'm like, no, I can't be playing Fields this week. Hell no. But I mean, I like Fields if he can actually continue this. Very possible. But I'm just like, ugh. But yeah, just to recap, like 2 QB leagues. If Jimmy's out there, snag him up. If
he's hell yeah, 2 QB. I'm starting Jimmy. Absolutely.
Yeah, for 2 QB leagues, if you need, I mean, PJ Walker's not a bad play. If Heineke's out there, I would.
Yeah, I like.
I mean, if you're in desperate mode, I mean, PJ Walker, Davis Mills are some decent options if you don't have anybody else in these 2 QB leagues. Watson is out there in some leagues too, but he's still not back yet. I mean, I hate to say it. I don't really want to bring up his name.
Okay,
but
do you think he doesn't, he's an idiot. Do you think they shut him down for the year though? I don't think he's playing. I don't think Watson's playing. I mean, their team, they're not making the playoffs. I think they're going to trade Kareem Hunt. I think they're going to not Carolina blow the team up, but I think they're going to pack it in and take their 6 or 7 win season. And I don't think you put Watson out there. I think you start fresh in 2023, get the fan base excited, let him sit, let this idiot clear his name a little bit and get this behind him, and then bring him back next year. I wouldn't put him out there so he can do what? So he can, you're already guaranteeing him $46 million. So it's, what is it? I don't know. That's just my opinion. What I know for fantasy owners, it'd be great to have him out there, but just from a realistic standpoint, I wouldn't, because he'll be or his suspension will end week 11. So what, week 12, you're just going to rush. I mean, I don't know what you think. I think you shut him down for the year. I don't even think he played, the name we won't mention.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I think they'll end up playing him just because. But I mean, if Brissett doesn't look like the guy they want, or if he's not doing what they need to, I mean, I could probably see that happening. But I mean, I would just keep Brissett in there for the rest of the season. But
yeah, I agree.
But that's just me. I was kind of a fan of watching.
They're not going anywhere anyways. So
yeah. But I mean, I guess it only, in my eyes, I guess it would only benefit some of the wide receivers if that does happen. But
oh yeah, absolutely. Next, and I kind of like this because especially if you're in a dynasty league or you're in a keeper league next year, you can get your hands on a guy like a guy like Peoples Jones, or even if Amari Cooper's got anything left next year, you can get these guys super cheap and with a healthy, fully engaged name we won't mention. Yeah, I could see Cleveland taking off again next year for sure. Do you want to get into tight ends or any of
Yep, tight ends. Yep. So I pretty much only got like 4 guys here. I mean, Greg Dulcich is one guy.
Yep. He's had 2 weeks. He's had 2 weeks in a row, Jay, of double-digit points. So he's starting to get on track.
Great. He's only 13% rostered, so he's out there in a lot of leagues, in quite a few leagues. If you need somebody that's, you need some touches here and there, sure, why not? The other guy is Evan Ingram.
I can't believe Ingram's still there.
Yeah, I got him in a couple leagues. I mean, he's getting targets. It's one of those things.
He's having a deceptively good season with Jacksonville. A guy I like quick. I think I brought him up earlier when I was confused. Tight ends. Gesicki, Mike Gesicki. He's available in almost any format league. I think anybody who's a number one tight ends aren't targeted as much, and unless it's freaking Andrews or Kelsey. But he's back to being their number one tight end again. Gesicki's getting into the flow, especially with Tua back. I mean, he kind of took a cat nap there while they had Teddy in, but So Mike Gesicki. Otten, the kid, rookie from Tampa.
Yep.
He's had a couple double-digit games.
Yep, he has. And if you need, I mean, he's only 14% rostered. I'm sure, and he's available in a lot of leagues. So I mean, so these are some other guys. The other guy I am gonna want to bring up too is Juwan Johnson. He's actually been.
You had to go there, didn't you?
Yep. I think he'll be. He's only 3% rostered, and if he's going to be playing like that, why not, man?
Yeah, he balled out in week 7 for sure. Jelani Woods. I'll get one more on my side here. Jelani Woods. I tend to think that these young guys, like because preseason and with the practice squad, and they get report. I think Pierce is going to benefit as a receiver, and I think Jelani Woods will benefit as a tight end. He had a 2 touchdown game earlier in the year when he was filling in for Mo Alley Cox. So I think Jelani Woods. If you want a guy who I know he's available in any format league, if you want a sleeper, that's my guy.
Yeah. Sweet. I think that was kind of it. Greg Dulcich, Evan Ingram, Cade Cotton, and Juwan are some guys that you guys can pick up if you're needing some people. I'm not trying to think if there's anything else.
I'll get a kicker in quick. Jason Myers. He just scored me. He just scored me, I think, 16 points in a 12-man league I'm in. Jason Myers is Seattle's kicker. He's been tearing it up. He doesn't get a lot of pub, because they talk about Butker and Tucker and Matt Gay from the Rams. There's the more sexy kickers, but Jason Myers is a beast with Seattle. And a lot of these matchups are close now, especially when you play higher ranked teams in your league. You need those extra 5-6 points, and I think Jason Myers has been doing that a lot this year. He's easily in the top 5 of kickers, and we haven't talked about him before. But Jason Myers, is there any kickers that you like or?
No, I usually don't pay attention to kickers too much, but
that's what I'm here for. That's what I'm here for.
Yep. You feel that void.
I do. I feel it real nice.
Some defenses quick. Broncos at Jacksonville, Titans at Houston, and Colts at Washington.
There's been a lot of ads for the Colts for sure. Jacksonville, they didn't do much, but they're not giving up a ton of points. So I mean, at least you're going to be in the positive. There's some defenses, Lions. where they don't intercept people, they don't sack people, and they give up a lot of points. I mean, you're going to get negative points. You start,
Well, they had a few. They had a few sacks. I mean, I had Hutchinson, and he had a couple sacks in the Cowboys. Yeah.
No, just in general.
Yeah. But Evan Ingram, here's a nice quick stat. He actually leads the team in targets over the last 3 weeks, and that's it's
I believe it. I mean, I believe it. I mean, they weren't doing shit with James Robinson. I mean, Etienne ain't catching anything. Christian Kirk has kind of disappeared the last. Yeah, that would make sense. Marvin, what the hell happened to Marvin Jones? Was everybody jumping on his?
Where's Christian Kirk at? What the fuck happened to him, man? Fuck.
God, Jacksonville's a fucking dude. So much for Lawrence making that ascent. That's another thing I might have to eat a plate of shit on. Is he's not coming along as much as I thought.
Yeah.
But
yeah, well, I guess I mean before we close out.
Hey, well, what about, because they're available, what about Washington's defense? Because they did a decent job against the Packers. What about and the Bears too, for that matter? What about the Washington defense against the Colts, against the the young guy?
Yeah, I guess I could see them, rookie, and if they're playing well, shit, why not? I mean, I think they've had some few interceptions, and I know they get some sacks and stuff like that too. So, I mean, for Ellinger being a rookie, yeah, I mean, it's not a bad play. And then what was the other one you said?
I had mentioned Jacksonville. Like they haven't done a ton on defense, but they're playing Denver, and for us to be out again. I mean, you might end up playing Brett Rippon, so that might tee off on him a little bit. So that's
maybe
two kind of, if you're in a deeper league, it's hard to get your hands on Buffalo and the better defense, obviously. So Washington and Jacksonville, if you can.
Yeah, what really sucks too is in my 20-man, everybody snagged up all these defenses, so I'm stuck with Dallas and the Raiders defense. And
Dallas has got it. They got me 22 points in 12-man. 12-man that we do with my brother. Like Dallas has got. I was telling you that, I'm like, they got a championship level defense. It's just and if Dak can kind of get back to form, I mean, Dallas is a dangerous team. You should be proud of this team. I think they can compete with anybody.
Yeah, it's we had a couple rough spells, but I mean, overall, I mean, with us kind of getting hurt by the Eagles, I think that won't happen next time, though.
No,
sure.
I don't think so either. I'm not a Philly. I don't think Jalen Hurts can keep this up, man. I don't think he's that. I don't think he's a top 5 quarterback. I'm sorry, I don't see it. I think Jalen might be a top 10. I think he can get to that level. But he's not up there with Burrow. He's not Mahomes. He's not Allen. He's not Lamar. He's not any of these guys. I don't buy the Phillies just going to go 17-0 and run the table. I don't see that.
Crazy, man. But yeah. But yeah, I think this kind of wraps up the show. I mean, I was going to, whoever's watching on YouTube, please, if you can, hit that like button if you want to subscribe. Yes. We go live every Tuesdays and Fridays, but the only chance we get time for anyways. But yeah, if you're not listening to this, visually, we always have our podcast version of this stream that's on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. I don't see at any point in Stitcher, Google Play, or whatever. I guess it just kind of limited it. It's not a fan of a lot of those.
We keeps it simple here.
Yeah, simpler the better. I don't like things complicated because my brain gets confuzzled.
Yeah, I've dealt with women for years, and there's just too much complication there. So
yes,
like us, subscribe, like all that good shit, if you or share with a friend, and if you want some entertainment. I mean, I'm talking this up because this is the best thing that happened to our show so far. Jamie and Anthony on the same show at the same time. That's gold, baby. That's money.
We might have a little sparring spree. Who knows?
Yeah, Yeah, we have like probably 3 listeners. Dude, we'll be up to. I guarantee we'll be up to 100. They get Anthony, all Anthony's family and friends. But oh, baby, you on the air with them?
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know. We'll see. I mean, I know it's a little rough going, but yeah, we're trying to make a platform and get an audience of people wanting to listen to us, and who knows what's going to happen, But well, we'll see what
We try.
happens. Yeah.
We
Hey,
mess up.
man.
We mess up. We mess up. We talk over each other, but we try. It's all good.
I just think I think we just both are opinionated on a lot of different things, and that's what happens.
Yeah. But I mean, definitely, if you want a tag team, shit, we might need to start talking wrestling too, man. I didn't know you were watching Raw. I think we could have brought that up for 2 minutes, but yeah, no, I mean, yeah. If we had some listeners, you guys tell us what you want to know. We tried to touch on a little bit of everything tonight, but yeah, if you guys if you want football, the entire hour and a half football. If you want like little tidbits from other, I mean, we follow everything. I follow fucking golf and tennis too. I mean, we follow everything. So if you guys want a little bit of,
I don't follow all that shit.
I'll spice it in. Then I'll talk about it, fucker. I'll be like, give me my driver here, Jamie. Got my 9-iron.
I'll give you a 9-iron right across the damn head.
Right. Mushroom stamp me, right?
Yep. But yeah, I think that kind of wraps up everything. Just let's share our craziness. I mean, we just want to, life is too short sometimes, and it's just trying to leave something behind. Maybe someone get a little laugh out of us being or I don't know, just stupidity. I can't even talk either. That's how bad I am. Right. My God, maybe
we'll fix that on Friday. We'll fix that on Friday. You'll be talking right. You'll be drinking, and we're getting Anthony on. This is fantastic. I'm looking forward to it, man. This is what's going to get the show off the ground.
Hopefully, maybe, yeah.
You and Anthony going at it.
Yeah, that's for damn sure. All right, guys. Hit the like. At least get us, hit like our video at least a little bit or whatever. I mean, at least hit the like button at least. If you can subscribe, if you want to listen to us. Just all that good fancy stuff, and yeah.
All right, let's do it. Let's do it the right way. Let's put on that outro music. Let's get up out of here and have a good rest of your night.
Yeah, I have to actually
Netflix and chill or whatever you're gonna do with your Tuesday.
Yeah, I gotta get some good. I have to find a nice outro for our video when we get up out of here. I haven't found. I gotta find another one, so I haven't found one yet. But yeah, I will. But anyways, I'm Jamie. That's Eli. Rod of Rhythm. You guys have yourselves a fun night on the waiver wire. Hope you get the guys you guys want, and we up out of here. So peace.
Deuces.